Hi everyone, I am Lenox.
And I'm Leska.
Welcome to our channel and welcome back for the continuation of We About to Get Ghetto. Now, before we start with the continuation of that story, I did just want to put out a disclaimer, just stating that everything is fictitious, and even though some of the stories are based on true events, we have changed the names and occurrences and places to protect the identity of the individuals involved. So everything is in fantasy. So with that said, Leska is going to begin reading.
Hi everyone. It was a Thursday night, one more day of work till the weekend fun commences. It's been a hard week. I think I'll go out to get some tacos and a beer before it gets too late. Off on his bike he went, enjoying the warm salt air on his face as he rode to eat his tacos. His favorite thing to do. Like so many other Thursday nights, this was a weekly ritual. For he was a creature of habit. Most nights he walked the beach with bike in tow to make his way back home. But when an early morning awaited, and being as responsible as he was, he took the fast way home on his bike. The night was now quiet. With his belly full, feeling content, on his way he went. Unaware of the demons lurking in the dark path, the second roundabout. As he made his way through the roundabout, he caught the demons' eyes. They looked at each other, nodded, and went in for the attack. One of the men knocked him off his bike, while the other, with tire iron in hand, began to swing. Disoriented and taken by complete surprise, he tried his best to defend himself. But blow after blow, he fell to the ground with thoughts of his kids running through his mind. He became detached as he watched the man brutally slay him, hearing bone crunch, feeling his body collapse, muscle by muscle, bone by bone.
All he could do was pray, realizing his time in his blessed utopia was done. He prayed for his kids, and he thanked God for his blessings. That was the kind of man he was. In spite of becoming a victim of this treacherous act, he found a way to be thankful and grateful for what God had blessed him with. His only concern was not for himself, but for all those that he loved, that he was leaving behind in a declining society filled with evil and hate. The evil men, along with his soul, had left his body, and they kept hitting and hitting, for he was no longer there. But these demonic cowards, they fled because they were too pathetic to face the consequences for what they did.
Soon after, with a call from a resident reporting what sounded like a struggle, the police arrived. They quickly secured the area, removed the angelic victim's body, and a manhunt for the perps shortly ensued. For a moment, the demonic cowards rejoiced in the wickedness they had carried out, thinking they got away with it. "We did it," one man texts the other. "We shut Utopia down. We are famous."
Little did they know that when you attack one person on this beach, you attack us all. They underestimated the police and they underestimated the community. Through brilliant police work and precise investigation, along with the help of the community, within 24 hours they caught the first coward, the one who wielded the tire iron. With no emotion and zero remorse, he confessed, though he would not give up the location of his co-coward. The police would persevere. As the community picked up the pieces, the police kept working. They left no stone unturned. And through diligent hard work, 2 weeks later, the other sinister coward was found. The community began to take a breath, and the family was able to lay him to rest.
But the road ahead would not be easy. The justice system still had to run its course. Even though there was a confession, anything could happen. When Josephine learned of what occurred, she was immediately saddened, sickened, and angered. She asked Amalia to research what prison or jail they were being held at. "We will disable all the cameras, but loop in fake footage to not cause alarm."
Lenox will be paying them a visit tonight. Amalia figured out where they were being held, and she was able to get into the camera system and begin looking at all the cells, common areas, hallways, and all that. When she came across them, they were being held in separate cells. Both of them were boasting to the other inmates about what they had done. They sounded like pitiful fools trying to impress the other criminals. Not all of them looked amused. This only enraged Josephine more. At lights out, Amalia will switch out the footage, and Lenox will enter.
Lenox headed to the prison and waited, determined to get true justice, even if these fools are convicted and sentenced. It was not enough. It was not enough punishment. Our prison system is too soft for these types of criminals. The lights went out. Amalia signaled to Lenox, guiding her to their cells. She started with the coward that hid for 2 weeks, as she stood over him, seeing him sleep.
He was sleeping peacefully, without a care. She became more enraged, for they didn't just take the life of a gentle soul, an amazing father. He was also her friend. This was personal. Her human nature wanted to punch his face in, but she resisted. She woke him up, and as he gasped, his cellmate awoke. She gave his cellmate a look and put her finger up to her mouth, signaling him to stay quiet. Without having to say a word, he knew that whatever was going to happen to his new cellmate, he did not want any part of. And he did not want to suffer the same fate. So he turned his back, putting the sheet over his head. She grabbed him by the throat. Surge from her felt like 10 tasers hitting him at once. He convulsed uncontrollably, begging for it to stop. She threw him down and put her foot on his chest. His eyes were bugging out. He began to shake, but this time it wasn't from feeling like he was being tasered. He was reliving the pain that he had caused the old man, my friend, and all the people from the community. He started to foam at the mouth, shaking, crying, and wrenching in pain.
Lenox left the cell to find his deplorable co-conspirator. When she arrived at his cell, she could feel and hear the demonic entities radiating from it. Fearless, for it was no match for her, she entered. The demons immediately tried to attack, but could not get close. When they noticed the cross on her back, she yelled at him, "Stand up." He told her to F off. She demanded he get up and fight her. He got up, but only to get to the other side of the cell so he can call for help.
When he tried to call out for help, no voice came out. Lenox smiled. "What's wrong?" she asked. "Not so tough without your tire iron." She grabbed him by the little hair he had on his head, nearly scalping him. He wet himself in fear. "Let me ask you a question. Why did you do this?" Lenox demanded an answer. "Society, all the shit that was wrong made me do it." "What a stupid answer," she replied. With that, his eyes rolled back in his head. All you could see were the whites of his eyes as he convulsed violently. He felt every hit of that tire iron, as if he was wielding it on himself. His flesh was bursting, his ribs were cracking, then his cheekbones and his jaw. He then felt his organs failing as he was choking on his own blood, feeling, hearing, smelling his body being mutilated. The sorrow of leaving his kids, his friends, all of it. And with that, Lenox walked out. She left and she went to the beach, his favorite place. Tears were pouring from her eyes. She went down to her knees, feeling of despair, letting out her cries. When she composed herself, she headed back to the sanctuary. The cameras were not yet switched back. We wanted to see if they had repented, if their souls could be saved, but they had not. So they will live on the rest of their days in the hell of their own creation. So that's how that story will end. So Lenox went to the prisons because she wanted to carry out justice, because she does not believe that our justice system has tough enough punishment for these type of criminals that commit heinous acts that are completely unprovoked, no reason for it. And these people just go around terrorizing neighborhoods and terrorizing children and just committing horrible acts without barely any consequence. You know, these two men are sitting there in prison joking around and bragging about what they did as if they were proud of their actions. And that doesn't sit well with Lenox, and I'm sure it doesn't sit well with a lot of you. So even if they are convicted of these crimes, that's not enough. They shouldn't be allowed to sit there watching TV, eating 3 meals a day, working out in gyms, when the lives of our friends have been taken. So each week on this channel, we will have different stories. Now this story was something that happened here in our community, so we were affected by it, and we wanted to write a little bit of something getting him mental justice, and also to acknowledge how well the police did in this case. And they did an amazing job bringing these perps in, and with the help of the community, you know, everybody pitched in and did what they needed to do to get justice for our friend. So with that said, now we're just going to go over, lighten the mood a little bit, and just go over a little bit more about what to expect later on in the series. So there are a lot of funny parts in the book as well. And remember, buy the book. It's going to be in the link below. But, you know, they try to use humor to lighten the mood. And the last video you saw that I had went over what the list of main characters were going to be, her team. So you have that to look forward to. in the next few weeks, we're finishing some of the costumes that we're making for the other characters. So hopefully in the next few weeks, you will be meeting some of the other characters and getting a little bit of insight as to what the storylines are going to be in the next book as well. And like I said, if you have suffered any type of injustice or something has happened and you want us to research it and write a little story getting you justice, let us know. You can put it in the comments below, or you can message, and I will research it and write a little story just for that. But thank you guys for joining us. Alexa and I are going to say goodbye for this week, and we will be touching base with you for our second video, probably either Thursday or Friday, so stay tuned for that. We hope you're having a great week, and we'll talk soon. God bless. Till next time.